Chapter 1. Introduction to Reading. The nature of reading. Reading is one of the most essential skills in language learning and literacy development. It serves not only as a means of obtaining information, but also as a process of constructing meaning from written symbols. According to Anderson, 2003, reading is an active, fluent process that involves the reader and the text in building meaning. Similarly, Noonan, 2003, views reading as a process of decoding written symbols to reconstruct the writer's intended message. From a psycholinguistic perspective, reading is a complex interaction between perception, cognition, and language knowledge. The reader must decode the visual input, letters and words, process syntactic structures, and interpret semantic and pragmatic meanings. Smith, 2004, emphasizes that reading is not merely recognizing words but understanding ideas through interaction with the text. In educational contexts, particularly in English as a foreign language, EFL settings, reading plays a crucial role in language acquisition. It exposes learners to new vocabulary, grammatical structures, and discourse patterns. For EFL students, reading is often the main source of language input outside the classroom. Hence, reading instruction becomes fundamental in the curriculum of English language education programs. Purpose and functions of reading. Reading serves various purposes depending on the reader's goals and contexts. Grabe and Stoller, 2011, classify reading purposes into several categories: reading for information, reading for pleasure, reading to learn, and reading for communication. 1. Reading for information. Readers aim to obtain specific facts or data from a text. This purpose is common in academic and professional settings. 2. Reading for pleasure. Involves reading for enjoyment or emotional satisfaction, such as reading novels or stories. 3. Reading to learn. Aimed at acquiring knowledge or mastering content, often in academic contexts. 4. Reading for communication. Engages the reader with the author's ideas, opinions, and perspectives. In language education, reading is a gateway skill that facilitates vocabulary growth, grammatical awareness, and critical thinking. Through reading, learners internalize linguistic forms and discourse conventions that enhance their writing and speaking abilities. Reading as an interactive process. Reading is not a passive act of recognizing words. It is an interactive process where the reader actively constructs meaning by integrating textual information with prior knowledge. Goodman, 1988, describes reading as a psycholinguistic guessing game in which readers use their knowledge of language and the world to predict meaning. This interaction occurs on multiple levels. 1. Bottom-up processing. Readers decode letters and words to form sentences and comprehend meaning. Goff, 1972. 2. Top-down processing. Readers rely on prior knowledge, expectations, and contextual clues to interpret meaning. Goodman, 1988. 3. Interactive processing. The most comprehensive approach, where both decoding and prediction operate simultaneously. Rummelhart, 1977. In the context of literal reading, this interaction helps readers identify and recall information that is explicitly presented in the text. Facts, names, places, time, and directly stated relationships. Without this foundation, higher levels of comprehension cannot develop effectively. Levels of reading comprehension. Comprehension is the ultimate goal of reading. It refers to the ability to understand, interpret, and evaluate written material. Scholars such as Barrett, 1976, and Day and Park, 2005, identify several levels of reading comprehension, each requiring different cognitive skills. 1. Literal comprehension. The most basic level of understanding involves recognizing ideas and information explicitly stated in the text, answers questions such as who, what, where, when, and how many. Example: from the sentence, Tom went to the market at 7 a.m., a literal reader can identify who, Tom, where, market, and when, 7 a.m. 2. Inferential comprehension requires readers to deduce information not directly stated, involves reading between the lines, using clues from the text and prior knowledge. 3. Critical comprehension involves evaluating ideas, arguments, and the author's purpose. Readers judge accuracy, credibility, and relevance. 4. Creative comprehension extends beyond the text by generating new ideas or solutions based on the content. Encourages imagination and personal interpretation. Among these, literal reading serves as the foundation upon which higher levels of comprehension are built. Students cannot make valid inferences or critical judgments if they fail to grasp the literal meaning first. The role of literal reading in language learning. In the EFL classroom, literal reading is particularly vital because it trains learners to focus on the structure and surface meaning of texts. It helps them recognize main ideas, supporting details, and factual information, skills that are necessary for academic reading tasks. Literal comprehension also reinforces vocabulary retention and syntactic awareness. When students identify explicit meanings, they encounter language patterns in authentic contexts, which enhances grammatical competence. Moreover, literal reading supports other skills. Writing. By understanding text organization and factual statements, students improve coherence in their own writing. Speaking. Literal comprehension provides linguistic input and factual references for discussion. Listening. Strengthens recognition of key details and sequence in spoken texts. Therefore, literal reading is not merely a basic skill, it is the cornerstone of overall language proficiency. Teachers must design reading lessons that first strengthen literal comprehension before expecting students to perform inferential or evaluative tasks. Summary. This chapter has presented an overview of reading as a multifaceted process essential for language learning and literacy development. Reading involves decoding, comprehension, and interaction between the reader and text. Among the various levels of comprehension, literal reading represents the foundational stage where readers extract directly stated information from texts. Understanding literal meaning is indispensable for learners in English language education, as it underpins higher levels of reasoning and textual analysis. The next chapter will explore the concept, features, and pedagogical importance of literal reading in greater depth, setting the stage for practical applications in teaching and material design. This is the end of this session. Thank you for watching.